Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm Michael Avidorit, your host for today's movie review. Before I get started, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel and comment below. Thank you, much appreciated. Let's jump right into it. Like I said 2 days ago, this week is a special. We are going to review the trilogy Back to the Future. And today's review, it's about the second movie, say chapter number 2, that I'm going to break down right now. The first movie, like I said in the previous video, is already a awesome movie. A movie by Robert Zemeckis, made in 1985, produced the main producer Steven Spielberg. The second movie is more complicated, and I'm going to explain you why. The second movie picks up where the first one left. So you see Doc Brown coming back from the future, picking up Marty McFly and his girlfriend because something in the future happens to them and it's not good, and so they have to go to the future and make things better. So you get to see that they are going to the future. It's the same place, Hill Valley. They're going there to the future. It's everything futuristic. By the way, I must say, how they did it in 1995, portraying the future, that is not really what we have nowadays, as we know. But it's made in a good way. Seems realistic. You could say it seems realistic. It's not something really abstract or out of this world. Why does the movie get more complicated and more interesting, in my opinion, is something happens when they are in the future. Before I start to explain this, I must say one thing that I said in the first movie and the first video about the actors and the characters. The actor that plays Biff is always the same, and that's a great thing. He's playing Biff in all three movies. Biff the young guy, Biff old, really old, Biff old, the rich and famous and powerful one, and also in the West, in the Wild West, the bad guy, Biff, Mad Dog. So, and it's always the same, of course, makeup and everything, but it's nice because you recognize him straight away who he is and the role he's playing. So that's a plus, in my opinion. So they, back to the story, they are there in the future, trying to get things right for the future Marty McFly and his girlfriend that are married. But while they are there in the neighborhood where they live, the old Beef, it's like the one that's originally from 1955, so they are in 2015. The old, like a grandpa Biff, sneaks into the DeLorean, the car, and flies away and gets back to the past. He's getting back, you see the scene in 1955, and gives basically himself, but the younger version of himself, this book, this almanac with all the sport results from 1950 till 2000, all the results, and tells him, hey look, you can get very rich, you just have to bet on what's written here. And that's actually what's playing out. It's playing out really fast because when we don't see this, we see this that happened later in the movie. We see Doc and Marty that take off from the residence, where I know it's getting a bit confused and complicated, but that's what happens when you jump between past and future and present. So trying my best to explain this. Like I said, Marty and Doc, when they leave the neighborhood where older Marty and his girlfriend live as a couple, you see that the world they are, it's not the natural progression of 1995 going to 2015, but it's a really ruined and dramatic world, and really broken world, and really dangerous world. You see this, that Marty wants to get back into his house, and he discovers it's not somebody else is living there, and you see while he's walking, you see smashed cars, so on the street, cars on fires, you hear gunfire. So it's really a messed up world, a messed up place. And he sees then ultimately that, or he discovers, to make things to tell you things faster, that he's the actually his father, no natural father, but his father is Beef. And yeah, he's basically very rich, very powerful, famous, and he's really is a bad character, he's a bad guy. And his mother is married to him. So that's actually what's happening in the movie. Doc and Marty have then to solve this problem. So how do Doc and Marty solve the problem? Well, they get back to the source of the problem, and that's when old Beef gives himself in 1955 the almanac with all the results, and they go to 1955, and that's actually where you see that what old Beef has done. So before, you see this crazy, dangerous, horrible world, and you don't understand why. I mean, you say they've gone to the future, why is this so messed up? And then you go back to 1955, you see Beef giving himself the journal, and you understand everything. So they basically have to steal the almanac from young Beef so that he doesn't have it, and he can't bet on the sports results and get rich. And that's basically Act 2, what their mission is, or the main core of Act 2, what the mission is to repair this damage. Well, they ultimately do it, and that's also the jump between Act 2 and Act 3, the resolution of the movie, and that's also where it gets really tricky and interesting, because to get this almanac from Beef, Marty has to follow him, and he gets to the party where Marty's mother and father meet. But guess what? Also the older Marty that in the first movie got back is here, and you see it. So there are two Martys, and he must be really careful that the other Marty doesn't see him, and vice versa. So it's awesome how it's made. Also, one big takeaway of this movie, like for the first one, that was the ending, they did the setup for the next movie. Here it happens that before they land, one of the final scenes, before they land with the DeLorean, the car, Marty is on the ground, Doc is in the car. The car gets struck by thunder, by lightning, and disappears. And right after that, you see in the rain a car coming, and a postman giving a letter to Marty, telling him it's specifically a letter for you, and it was written 70 years ago, so that's in 1885, so in the West, Old West. specifically with a note to wait for 70 years and deliver this letter exactly in this moment, in this place. And you get to see that Doc Brown got, with this lightning that hit the car, got back in 1885 and wrote this letter to Marty because he already knew what was happening in the future. And that's the setup for the third movie, basically. And it really gets you. I don't know how the audience reacted in 1995 when they saw all the movies one after the other in the theater, but I imagine it must be crazy, it must be awesome. Every time that I review this movie, it's awesome to really see how the various parts connect, and the beginning and ending of each movie. So that's a masterpiece, in my opinion, to really see and study how to play with different elements of storytelling, of the plot, of the story, the character. And it's even more difficult and fascinating if you can do it when you play with time and space. So let me know what you think about the second movie of Back to the Future. Before I end, remember to give the video a thumb up, comment below what you think, and subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next one for the third part. Thank you for watching, bye.